In this lesson, we will look at writing equations of line in different forms when you're given 2 points, okay? It says here, write the equation of a line passes through the given 2 points, -3, 7, and 1, -1. Let me go ahead and plug these points in Desmos so we can see what actually we're trying to do. So there's the first point right there, -3, 7. And then the other point, 1, -1. Here's the other point right here. And we're looking for the equation of a line that passes through these points. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is find the slope using the slope formula. So the slope formula says y2 minus y1. So this is y2 and this is y1, the y coordinates. -1 minus 7 over 1 minus -3, 1 minus -3, okay? I'm just going to put all that in Desmos. -1 minus 7 over 1 minus -3 is -2. So this is the slope here. So remember, for a point slope form, it's basically you will do y minus y1 equals the slope times y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. This is a formula you have to memorize, okay? Keep it there. All right, so the point I'm going to plug in, you can choose either point, the first point or the second point, it doesn't matter, it's still going to work. So you're going to do y, I'll just choose the first one, y minus the y coordinate, 7, equals the slope, which is -2 times x minus the x coordinate, which is -3. Okay, and that's it. We can clean this up a little bit. We can say that negative will end up being a positive, so I'll just put a +3 there, and there you go. Let's see if this works. So when I put this in Desmos, it should draw a line through those 2 points. There you go, it works, okay? All right, rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form. So to write it in slope-intercept form, I'm gonna go ahead and take my equation. Let me just copy it down. And then I'm gonna reduce it. Let me actually go back to this. Or if you're curious, will it work the same way if I use the second point? Yes, so it's basically y minus the y coordinate minus -1 will be negative, which is a +1, equals -2 times x minus the x coordinate, which is 1. Let me show you that it's going to work as well. Times x minus 1. See, it works. So both of them will work. Okay, just wanted to show you that. All right, going back, I'll just stick with one of them. I'll stick with the first one. To rewrite it, we're going to get rid of the parentheses by distributing the -2 first. So you have y minus 7 equals -2x minus 6. And then just bring the 7 over. You just want y by itself. So we're going to go ahead and add 7 on both sides. Add it to the like terms. So you're going to have y, that's gone, equals -2x, -6 plus 7, that's +1. -6 plus 7 is +1. And there you go. That's my equation. Let's go ahead and see if this equation works now. It should graph the same line. It's just written in a different form. There you go. It's the same thing. So this is written in slope-intercept form. This equation is written in slope-intercept form. So you can see the slope is -2 and the y-intercept is +1. Okay, it'll do the same thing if I use this equation as well. Let's go ahead and do it just to show you. It all works out, equals. So I'll go ahead and bring this down real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute this -2, get rid of the parentheses. So you have here y plus 1 equals -2x plus 1. And then take this over, subtract 1. Sorry, this is -2 times -1. That's +2. +2. All right, and then so subtract 1, and then you have here y, that's gone, equals -2x, 2 minus 1 is 1. See how you get the same exact equation. All right. The last thing we want to do is rewrite the equation in standard form. Remember, the standard form looks like this. You have your point slope form to memorize. Make sure to memorize this. You have your slope intercept form. You already have this memorized. And then here is the standard form. One thing I want to show you that each of these forms have your y and your x, which is pretty standard. You have to make sure to have x and y in each of the equations. Okay, x and y, x and y, x and y, okay? Sorry, the x should be here, x and y. And just make sure to have these memorized. All right, so to write this in standard form, let me go ahead and rewrite this equation down. Y equals -2x plus 1. What we're going to do is we're going to move the x term over. So we're going to add 2x on both sides of the equal sign. So you have here 2x plus 1y, or just y, equals +1. And that's it. That's my standard form. You have your x term, you have your y term, and then you have your c, your constant term. Also, just make sure that the x term, the coefficient is not negative, and which in this case, it looks good. So let me go ahead and try this out. Hopefully, it will graph the same line. If it doesn't graph the same line, then we did something wrong, but it does. Look, that looks good. Let me take all these off. These are my final answers here. So, oops, let me put the points back on. Okay, so originally we started off with these 2 points, -3, 7. They're right here. We were asked to find the equation of a line in point slope form. It worked. It went through those 2 points. Then we converted it into slope intercept form. Yep, that also works. And then finally we converted it into standard form. There you go. That works.